Hello everybody and welcome to Kits 323. You have a choice of two designs on this. Some of you have chosen the lovely boat in the reeves and the other has chosen the bicycle in the door. There'll be two videos for this. I'm going to take it step by step for each one and I'll show you what you get in your kit on both of them. And we'll start with the blue one that is in the boat in the reeds. So in that you get all your little bits and pieces in here, which will be the sprays of leaves and that you'll need. There will be your two strips for the best wishes and the sentiment. There will be a backing card in both colours. And oops, just get this out of the envelope if I can. It's a bit tight today, it doesn't want to come out. So in here you have your card, you have your card candy in the matching colours and all your bits and pieces. You have your stamped image, which is stamped in grey, and your other sentiment, which says have a beautiful day. So we'll pop all those bits and pieces back into here, and I shall just slot them lightly into the envelope to keep them all together. Whoops, it doesn't want to go in that way. I'll pop it in that way. I'll pop that with the card, and we'll bring the stamping platform over. The stamp I've used is called Lake with Rowing Boat, and it is a Nellie Snellen die, and it is beautiful. And I've also used the birds from a cardio, which is on the fence, but you can use anything on these. So I'm just going to show you how this stamps out using grey ink, and I'm using Versaclair Morning Mist, as this I feel gives the best image for you to colour in. So it's just a case of lightly tapping all over, then gently press down. You may need to do this a second time if you have these stamps. I could just do with it a little bit stronger, so I'm just going to give it another coat. Put that to the side. Again, just press down all round. And that has given a lovely clear image ready for us to paint. I'm going to colour mine in with watercolour pencils. Just move those out of the way. And I'm going to use them with a water brush. So we'll start now. I will get my card out and start and colour this in. It's very quick to colour in, is this, so you don't have to be too precise. So we'll start in here, and what I'm doing, I need some green ink, green pencil should I say, to start with. So I'm using a nice shade of green, and I'm using my Derwent water brushes. You can use any, you don't have to even use a water brush if you don't wish, but all I'm going to do is just lightly, it doesn't want a lot, you're only giving the impression of colour. It's such a lovely image, it doesn't want to distract from the original artwork. So I'm just giving it some light dabs and just over, just following the lines. Doesn't want to be a lot, just to keep it just going. And And I'm just going to change onto a different shade of green so that I've got just some different shading. Just so that obviously grass isn't all the same colour. So by adding a different shade of green in, it just brings it all to life. And then just go into that, and then we'll go on to the other side. And again, if your brush is just a bit dry, just squeeze a little bit out and just little bits. If you prefer to actually colour in directly from your pencil, that's quite all right. There is no right and wrong way. It's how you wish to colour this in. If you want to use alcohol pens, that is fine. Use whatever medium to colour this in that you feel comfortable with. My favourite medium, as I've said in the past, is watercolours, but I do use some of the other mediums. I use the polychromos, I use alcohol pens, so there is it's whatever you're comfortable in using, so you don't have to follow exactly what I'm doing. And just giving it a light wash with one colour, then I will go over with the other colour. Just blend it in. So you get just some different shades of green. And it just gives it a little bit of extra definition. So just bring it to life and just filling it in a bit at a time. They're fairly quick to do with these. As I say, you don't need to be too precise on them. So I'm now going to go on to some brown for the for just the side of the earth on this edge. Doesn't want a lot. And again, you can blend the different colours of brown, different shades of brown. I'll do that, and then a slightly darker one. Just to give it a little bit of depth. And then I'm going to actually, right, I need to find a yellow, the right sort of yellow, to give it like a sandy finish. So just going to, just need to squeeze a bit more water out of my pen, just to, you don't need a lot, just to give it an indication that you've got like sand, a sandy shore. And then we'll go on to the boat and the water, and again I'm using 2 or 3 different colours just to give it a little bit of contrast. And so I think I'm quite happy with that. And then go on to, oops, excuse me. So I need a nice, a nice pale blue. Just first of all, a straight line running across. to give the horizon. Just blend it over just gently. And I'm going to use a slightly different shade of blue to fill in. Just to fill in. Doesn't want to be a lot. And just run it across gently like that. Then I'm going to just turn it round and use a wider brush. I'm using my number 2 brush. And I'm just going to run some across at the top for the sky. Doesn't want to be a lot. Just an indication of sky. And any white patches will look like clouds. So, as I say, you don't have to fill it all in. And when we come to the finishing off, I'll show you the different ideas for blending round the edge of your card. I'll pop that to a side. And then what we're going to do is we are going to stamp the little birds. Oh, where I put the other set of other stamp. Where have I put it? Here it is. And I shall stamp this by hand. There's no need to do this with the oh, I've lost my birds, they're not there. Oh, I have lost the birds out of there. I do apologise. So I will draw them in. Draw them in with a pen. And I find my little pen. So you just want so just finish it off like that. And so that there gives you your base image. So I'm leaving that for now, and then I'm going to go on to the yellow one and get that up to the same point. So I will then move on to this one and I'll get this up to the colouring point. Then we can finish them all off in the next video. So what I need out of this, I will need the stamped image, which comes in your kit. You have your flowers. You also have what's left of the little flowers here, which make a nice stencil. You've got some gems and some of the no, you don't need the sorry, I put the card candy in there, but you don't need the card candy on this one. I think they were what was surplus from the other card. So I'll just pop that back into there for now. And put them back up there. So again, this stamp is the Old Door with Bike. Again, it is a lovely Nellie Snellen stamp, and I think this is beautiful. So I'm just going to show you again the stamping, and I shall be stamping again with the Versaclair Morning Mist, because it is not as hard or as it doesn't stand out as much as doing it with a black ink. Oops. And again, just press firmly want a little bit more, just doesn't want a lot, just a little bit more to just, so there we've got the finished image. I'll use the one that I stamped previously. Let's pop that down on there. Again, we're going to use, I'm using watercolour pencils. It's entirely up to you which you want to use. But again, I'm starting first of all with the lovely green. I just want to see which green, I'm not sure which green I want to use, so I'm just going to check on a piece of card. Yes, that's the one, I think. So again, it only wants little dabs. And you can add a different shade of green in, again, just to highlight it. Don't want a lot. And I might just vary the colours a little bit on this. It's a really pretty stamp, is this. I love these stamps by Nellie Snellen. They are so, I don't know, they just give a lovely image when they're printed out. And they're very inspiring. Just pop that on there, then I'm going on to the paler green. Just to give it a little bit of depth. Doesn't have to be, don't need to be too precise on these. It's beautiful. I mean, you can be if you want to be precise. You can fill in every individual little leaf. But sometimes less is more. And just doing it as a gentle, almost like a wash. It looks really pretty. That, and then I'm going to just do some leaves on the pot. And on the other side as well. So that is the lovely green. I'm then going to go on to the terracotta to do the pot. So I'm going to first of all use a light one. Trying to leave a pale bit in the middle. And just and then go on to a slightly darker one and just it just gives it the rounded effect. And then just going to do some of the brickwork, just lightly. And actually what I may do is, because these are fine lines, I'm just going to, actually draw these in with the pencil. It gives it just a finer line. Just running round the edge. And now we'll go on and find a nice grey to do just round the stonework, round there, and we want the darker grey for the stones. And on the step, and again darker at one side and fading it out. Again, the little stones, and I'm going to do just a wash. Just sort of a stonework round the door. If it's random, it looks more natural than if it is a solid colour, if there's little breaks in it. Like that. Then I'm just going to put a little bit of grey under here. Gives just a bit of a shadow under the wheels. So I now want to choose a nice colour for the door. What colour shall I have on this? Oh, I know what I haven't done, and I just need to get some red. And with the red, I am just going to put some little red dots in with the foliage above the door as if there's blossom. Just wants to be little dabs. Doesn't want to be a lot, just the old saying, a country cottage with roses by round the door. And little ones just over here. Some of them in the bush maybe a little bit bigger. And they just do it like that. We want a nice orangey brown for the lamp on the sides of the door. So I just want to again just highlight it, and then I'm just going to pop a dab of yellow in. And we'll now go on to, what colour shall we have for the door? Nice dark blue. And just bring it gently down. So it just gives you the effect of like stone-washed effect on the door, that it's an old door, maybe the paint's peeling a little bit. And it just gives it a little bit of life. And then I just want to go into a darker one. See if I can find a nice dark one, like that one. Just round the edges. And then down the middle. And what I'll do is I'll actually go over with the pencil directly onto it, just give it a little bit more definition and a stronger tint. So what I shall do here is do this while the paper's wet or damp. It just helps to spread it just that little bit easier. And just and then we'll go on to the bicycle and we'll have let's see, a nice reddy brown saddlebag. It's almost a purple, is this? I didn't realise it was quite as dark. Just do the wheel arches and the frame. Just run it down. Nearly done. And then I just want a bit of grey for the frame, and then I think we're about done. Whoops. And just do a bit of grey. And on this I can actually draw this in. A bit easier to do, to get in with the spokes, just with the actual point of the pencil. And handlebars. Again, just bring it round. And then we just want some nice yellow with my wider one. I'll leave the top because I think the top just needs to dry off a little bit. So I'm just going to run and then I shall blend a little bit of green into this. and then a little green, so just a tiny wee bit. Just so that it looks like a bit of earth garden that's in front of it. So we'll leave it at that point now, and I will come back in the next video and show you how we're going to pop it together. Just want to let these dry before we go on to the next stage. Thank you for watching and look out for part 2. Bye.